So the medieval warehouse, T.S. Hazard is there.
Yeah.
That's the pumping station.
Yeah.
That's the gym, the boxing club.
Right.
That's the big timber shed that's derelict open at the moment, not used. Down here is the blue building, the blue chandlery building.
Very different. So this needs to be improved in order to make anything happen in the base. But funding has been sought for the opening range. And so that is a very real option, along with the dredging in place, and that funding has been sought for that.
Actually in the factory site.
Well, I think this plan has been driven by frustration with the process that's been going on, and I think it's a wonderful example of how creative people can be and how much effort people are prepared to put in to think about alternatives for the creek, because this is vital to Faversham's future.
I've lived in Faversham now for quite a few years, and I'm actually quite concerned about the plans that they're putting forward for the creek side, as I think it is a very valuable resource for the town.
I came to the exhibition really because there's a lot of press around Faversham about Faversham Creek, and I wanted to come and see for myself, because all I've been hearing about the creek is that it's going to be developed into houses, restaurants and shops, which I don't really think is the way forward, and it'd be nice to keep the tradition of Faversham Creek in traditional boat buildings and workshops and local community enterprise.
Well, there's been quite a lot of information about this exhibition. It's been very well publicised, and we were already in the area, and we thought this would be an ideal time to come and see what all the discussion has been about, and all the controversy as well, because I think people have felt that there hasn't been adequate consultation.
I've been trying to keep track of the plan process, and have been coming to the various exhibitions that have been put on. So this is quite a nice alternative option that they've shown us.
I thought the exhibition was incredibly well presented. I think they've put a lot of effort into it. The visuals made it. I'm not a great visual person. I don't always understand visuals, but I thought the visuals were particularly strong. The photography was also very, very helpful. It was actually an attractive exhibition, but even as important, if not more importantly, was the story that they put together. I think to get the history, and then looking at the present, and then what the future could look like. And the objectives and the alternatives were presented in a way that I felt I could understand them, whereas before it was often very emotional, and people, you felt, well, they would say that, or that, but I actually felt this was very balanced. I think it was very clear, and I've now got an understanding about a coherence of what's possible.
I thought that this exhibition was quite a nice alternative to the council's version of housing, more housing, and a little bit of workshops on the lower levels, which of course would end up being more housing.
Things I liked most about the exhibition was keeping the tradition of the boat building, because if you take Faversham as a town, that's what it's known for. Faversham is boat building, gunpowder mills and barges, and I think if you keep the tradition of Faversham for boat builders, is going to thrive, and I can't see why Faversham can't be like, not that I'm saying that we want it to be, I mean why it couldn't be somewhere like Whitstable, because everyone flogs to Whitstable every weekend, and you kind of think Faversham's probably got more to offer than places like Whitstable has.
I liked the range of options and alternatives that presented, and the fact that it was done in a way that was balanced, because clearly the big issue for me living in Faversham, being a new resident, is housing. And I know there's a lot there, but it's where the housing should be, and I've actually convinced that more housing on the creek is probably not the best. I think it's an area of potentially outstanding beauty. It's wild. I actually like the mud. I think the mud's artistic. I'd actually quite like, I said to my partner, let's go and see the mud because it's lovely. I wouldn't like to fall in it, but you know, it's just part and parcel of what the creek is. And the buildings are stunning, but they're not, I think, used to their advantage. I actually think that you go down to the quay and you're met with lots of signs that do not park here. It's not welcoming. And I actually think that what they've presented is a picture of the whole quay and the whole creek and what it could look like that would actually would probably meet the needs of lots of people, but actually be a place where people would want to go and just visit in its own right. And no more shops. I like the notion that there would be very few shops. This is the centre of Faversham. The creek is a completely unique area and should be enhanced in that way.